Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ali Dose of Inspiration podcast. We bring special guests from all over the world to share story of hope, rebirth, and resiliency. And today we have a special guest from here, Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada, Darren Duguay. And Darren Duguay, I'm just going to read a little bit about this special guest. Darren earned his emotional fitness coach certification in 2013 and his emotional fitness coach instructor certification in 2014 through the Emotional Fitness Institute. He graduated from Mount Allison University with bachelor degree in education as well. Is that correct, Darren? Bachelor degree science education, as well as from the Canadian Land Force Command Staff College. He's a former community college instructor of 8 years and has completed 27 years service in the Canadian Army Force. As a naturopath consultant, he is a member of the Alliance of Professional Naturopath and Natural Therapists. Darren is a passionate advocate of holistic fitness with a particular attraction to running. He is a two-time Boston Marathon finisher. Woohoo! Darren leveraged his personal educational and leadership background as a passionate educator of emotional fitness to educate, train, and coach leader as well as team in the tools of emotional fitness to pivot, navigate, and success through challenging situations such as COVID-19. In November, he spoke at a World Summit and is currently a educator at Emotional Fitness. Is that correct, Darren? And please help me welcome Darren Duguay, Emotional Fitness Educator.
Ali, well, thank you very much. Should I introduce you, Ali?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
No,
ladies
I
and
thank
gentlemen,
you.
I would like to introduce you to Ali, who is a really good friend of mine. Been very blessed and grateful to have connected over the last couple of years. He's an avid Toastmaster, always looking for intentional improvement. Heart and soul to Ali is connection with his son and doing incredible things to bring forth some very important messages on a global level by connecting spiritually with people all around us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Ellie.
Thank you very much, my friend. This is a different podcast. It's all about story of hope, about rebirth, about resiliency. So it will be, I will be the host, Darren will be the host, I will be the guest, he will be the guest. So it's different, amazing podcast that will be all about learning and stuff. So Darren, as you know, this podcast is all about story of hope. It's about resiliency. It's about rebirth. Can you please like share with us uh, your story and share it with the audience and as story of hope, and we will maybe use some of the tools that of emotional fitness that's help to reach that inner balance or that emotional fitness spot.
Well, Ellie, thank you very much. Share my story. That's a challenging question every day I wake up because I ask myself, well, what really is my story today? And as I go through my journey and my growth, very blessed and grateful to be connected with amazing people on a global level within the community. Very extremely proud of my son and daughter who graduated in 2020. Became a grandfather for the first time in 2020. Connected and inspired. Feel very
Did they hear grandfather?
Oh, did I say grandfather?
Did you say grandfather?
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
congratulations! How
Oh
old is little
my
friend?
God.
How old is the little Francis, Darren?
My goodness, 7 months, Ellie.
7 months. Wow.
7 months.
God bless her. Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty amazing, and And I guess another part of my story is I always love coffee. I love coffee. I'm a morning coffee. Anybody out there who loves morning coffee? Ali, are you a coffee drinker?
I started to be a coffee drinker lately. I used to be a tea drinker.
Tea drinker. Do you know the story, my friend, about the second cup story?
No, I don't.
Well, second cup is all about second chances.
Wow.
And my understanding of the story of second cup is that it really evolved from someone who was homeless, a second cup, which led to the physical manifestation of a very successful franchise called Second Cup Coffee. So that brings forth to me hope. And as I heard earlier in your messaging, rebirth. What about the rebirth of that particular person who was homeless? And rebirth, went through the journey, and to navigate through homelessness and the resiliency that is shown in that. But a little bit about my story. Wow. How much time do we got, Ali?
We have 45 minutes, my friend. And so before we jump to that, Darren, I just would like to clarify, like for second cap, second
Yeah.
chance is the person who started that was at one point homeless.
My understanding it from the story and my reading over the last couple of years is in fact someone who was homeless
Wow.
at one time.
Wow, that's second cap, second chance. Makes sense. Really, it's all about hope and rebirth and resiliency. That's powerful, huh?
Absolutely. And the beauty about this, Ali, with the second cup, we take that as one of multiple different stories that we have within our communities. And if we just take the time, if I take the time to just slow down, which is one of the beauties about this current pandemic and COVID-19 during 2020, is slow down, breathe, connect, listen, and find out what are some of those stories that are untold. What are some of those stories that drives that hope piece and the journey of rebirth and resiliency? There's lots of stories like that, Ali. And I'd like to first of all thank you for doing your part in connecting with people on a global international level to share some of those stories and to bring forth hope, rebirth, resiliency, bringing people together, because we really, at the end of the day, we are one, and to be able to support one another going forward.
Thank you very
So,
much. Thank you very much, Darren.
so great work with you and your previous guests, Ali.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. It's all of the guests that we have mostly at Ali Dose of Inspiration. And without further ado, I really would like to dive into the story of hope, the story of resiliency and rebirth of
Sure.
Mr. Darren Duguay.
Awesome. Darren, yes, Ali. So I'll share a little bit about my story because I really want to emphasize that this is just my story, unique to me, relatable to and with others. Um, and my story continues to unravel. So, in Toastmasters style, as an icebreaker, I'm going to try to stick to about 5 minutes or
Okay.
less for my story. So I was born in a small little rural community. My mom and dad, my dad was a entrepreneur, a boat builder, a fisherman, a son of a veteran who served in the two great wars. Left school, my understanding is on or about grade 6 to bring food home to keep a large Acadian family going to support his mom. My mom is a former teacher and left school, left her profession to take care of a very sick child. born with a black lung. Only
Hmm.
found that piece of the story out in 2020. Well, that young child was myself. So I have two older brothers, an older sister, a younger brother. Grew up in a small little community. Fishing, boat building was the norm. And so was a lot of dysfunctionality within family environments within the rural community, which I guess makes me somewhat normal because I hear that a lot. I grew up in an environment that I feel my mom and dad did the best that they could, and I did the best I could as a child. Experienced a childhood journey of domestic violence, addiction, and eventually fast forwarding to at the age of 12, losing my dad at the age of 12. I guess in traditional conventional terms, they would call that suicide. So I lost my dad at the age of 12. I noticed and witnessed my dad writing his note, accompanied with a shotgun, and then being present when I heard the shotgun go off, but not physically seeing the actual incident. So what happened after that, Ali, is I end up bearing a lot of that, I call it trauma,
Hmm.
intermixed with that as well, Ali, which I really only discovered during the last year and a half, the impact of this trauma, and that was childhood sexual abuse. And so I came clean and I shared that silent piece within me after multiple years. I shared it in 2019. And as I shared it with my mother and my oldest brother, what I heard back from my oldest brother was he knew, because he was also impacted 20 years earlier. So was my second oldest brother. So my two oldest brothers and myself were impacted with childhood sexual abuse at the hands of the same individual. And this will be a part of another story that will unravel in 2021.
Hmm.
And I'm aware that within the rural communities, there is a significant issue dealing with trauma. I put a uniform on as a cadet. On the outside, Ali, oh man, Ali, I had a great looking haircut, a great smile. My teeth were white when I brushed them. My face was clean when I washed it. And on the outside, my uniform was, I feel, what I heard was immaculate. I was, because I was so good at controlling situations and leading things,
Hmm.
because I didn't have much control of what was happening within the family I grew up in. I was really good at controlling things when I was placed in that position of leadership.
Hmm.
So I turned around, put a cadet uniform on. I buried a lot of that. Let's call it trauma. I think
Hmm.
that's a word that really connected for me in 2020 is trauma I buried, which also led to over many years discovering that that was the root cause that led to my struggles with addiction. Coming back from Germany in 1984, during the first 2 years at Mount Holyoke University, I call it the days of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and a lot of addictive behaviors. Because what had happened when I came back from Germany in summer of '84 is I discovered I had lost two of my very best friends, and that reignited that little flame inside me called survivor's guilt.
Mm.
And my ability, and which is well documented by Dr. Gabriel Mate in the work that he does in addictions, is it reignited that internal flame of survivor's guilt. And the way I dealt with it was through addictive behavior and living a life through really childhood crisis in a man's body, who became an instructor at the community college, also with the forces in a position of leadership, and was married, became a dad. And so I had a pretty good handle on my physical and mental fitness, but I didn't know very much about other two very critical components of the resiliency model, Ali, and that was spiritual fitness
Mm.
until a defining moment in Afghanistan in the summer of 2011. On or about July 26, 2011, in my room in Kabul, where I surrendered the first time and started on a journey of spiritual fitness. Came back from overseas, was diagnosed and tagged with a label with a prescription drug. And my intuition went, there's something fundamentally wrong with this principle. I haven't been listened to, quickly diagnosed based upon symptoms with a label from the DSM-5. I threw the label out because I threw the label out because I still can't pronounce it. I was subsequently prescribed a drug by a doctor of psychiatry, and I said, this is not cool. So I basically voluntarily released with the option in 2011, walked away from an $80,000 a year paycheck as well as a pension, because I knew that there was a higher calling that I was being asked to pursue. And so 2011, 2012, very blessed and grateful to be supported by an amazing community in the greater Moncton area, supported by my family, friends, my kids. So I was very blessed and grateful with the support I had. And this would not have been possible without that. And it would not have been possible without friends like yourself, Ali, and other people that we connect with.
Thank you very much,
So,
my friend.
so I came to a journey. So I started going through a journey of rebirth.
Wow, that's like the phoenix bird. Eh? I just like holy like from I just kudo to your parent, like former teacher. She quit her job to take care of a child that was born with a black lung, and the father that was into the fishing and boat building to provide the food at that community. And at the age of 12, you lost your dad, and trauma, childhood sexual abuse, and you were kind of that's what I'm hearing there. And putting that uniform, covering all that, you were good at it, like with a big smile, like strong from outside. And 1994, that's where Darren find a different side of addictive behavior, where it ignited the internal flame inside. And at the end, 2012, 2011, 2012, Darren left 80,000 paycheck with pension and everything, but there is bigger call that's calling. And with all that, Darren was instructor, leader, educator, coach. This is really like a rebirth story, like a story of hope. This is resiliency. Now, what is, I know each one go through, I know each one have their own journey, each one have
Absolutely.
their own struggle, each one have their journey in their life, and each one take different step or different way to reach their goal. But this is like if a normal person go through this is will destroy them. This is, well, what is the tools, what is some of the strategy that keep Darren strong? I know you mentioned that you had really good community, good friend that when you quit in 2011, 2012, you feel blessed with good friend that supported you emotionally and spiritually in that way. But is there like more tools, maybe just that you can share? I know, like myself, I see that emotional fitness educator is some of the tools that maybe help there, and that's
Absolutely, Ali. That's great. So the tools of, I want to touch on resiliency on a bit, Ali.
definitely, yeah.
You know what, Ali? I knew very little about resiliency and the term and the meaning and the connection around resiliency until after took the uniform off and took a year of going back to school where the subject was life
Mhm.
and I was the student, also the teacher, and through the relationships I had around me. So one of the things I connected with in 2011, which I'm so blessed and grateful for, which was instrumental for the beginning of my rebirth,
Mhm.
was I connected with the Aboriginal Native population.
Mhm.
I've always been asked through my entire upbringing, Darren, are you Native or Aboriginal? And I didn't pay much attention to it. So I connected with what we refer to normally as the medicine wheel, dream catcher, and it has four distinctive colors within it. Within that alley, I started connecting with that and converting that into a model that dealt with fitness, something that would support resiliency. And I know that the Americans and the American Forces and Family Network had already started doing some work in this area in particular,
Mhm.
because of significant impact and spike in suicides within the military in the United States. And we were experiencing something similar to that in the Canadian military. So the dream catcher medicine wheel had four different components to it, and when the five was to convert that into something called fitness wheel, balance, resiliency, the importance of making sure we address the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional fitness components and parts. Four very separate parts that deserves four very separate set of tools to support and strengthen those pillars.
Mhm.
Ali, are you sitting on a chair at the present time?
I am, yeah.
How many legs does it have?
4.
Thank you, Ali. And how many of our viewers today are sitting on a chair with potentially four legs? I want to refer to that as your resiliency model, your fitness resiliency model. Ellie, if I was to go over there and remove one of those legs that you're sitting on, so now you're going to try to sit on 3 legs of a 4-legged chair. How do you feel about that?
I'm balanced, wobbly.
Okay. So let's say I remove or I don't pay much attention to one of those pillars. So let's call it the emotional one,
Mhm.
the emotional fitness pillar. How about if I remove another leg from you, Ali, called the spiritual fitness pillar?
Definitely,
So
yeah.
now you got 2 legs,
I will.
and we'll call it the mental and physical fitness.
Mhm.
And now you're trying to sit on 2 legs of a 4-legged chair. How do you feel now, Ali?
I will fall.
Okay. I will fall. And that's kind of really what happened to me in summer 2011 is I fell. I fell because I tried to operate off of a physical mental fitness, 2
Mhm.
legs of force or 4 very important legs. So the spiritual fitness, and we have a lot of great practitioners in that field, much like we have a lot of great practitioners working in the physical, mental fitness fields, spiritual fitness fields. So the other part was the emotional fitness part for myself, Ali. That was key to addressing trauma and
Mhm.
survivor's guilt and all the other things that I hid consciously and unconsciously, couldn't see it, and
Mhm.
buried it behind a uniform and a high performance athletic body, 2-time Boston Marathon qualifier. But that was just a mask. It was my mask. It was a way for me to survive. So emotional fitness became the tools that I really wanted to experience and dive into. After 1 year of personal journey, I connected with the founder and creator of emotional fitness, Warren Redman, in the fall of 2012. I got educated about what emotional fitness was and is still.
Mhm.
And that is where I was being spiritually guided to be, is to leverage this and to educate about emotional fitness specifically. But we need to have all 4 working together cooperatively to make a significant impact and to bring and support not only as ourselves as individuals, but those around us through hope, rebirth, and resiliency. Really
Mm.
want to emphasize also what outside those 4 primary fitness pillars, Ali, is the importance of being socially connected, which we're doing right now,
Mhm.
and feeling I belong to something, whether it's within this sort of dynamic or within groups that we connect with, like the beautiful picture that's behind you, Ali's
Mhm.
dose of inspiration. about connecting with people globally. That's a family. I see
Mm-hmm.
that as a family.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my take on the resiliency. So I heard tools, I heard emotional fitness. Allie,
I
what do
just
you?
want to comment a little bit on this. Really, I love what you shared here, Darren, about the chair. I like the metaphor that you used, the four chair, the four leg, and it's definitely relate to our who we are, like the physical fitness, mental fitness, spiritual fitness, and emotional fitness. And you are totally 100% right about that, because I use that for myself as well. I fall because I was working with two leg, and I wondering why I keep falling, because I don't have the support for the other chair to sit on. So so it make a total sense, because it's like if you are the balance. That's why like my vision now is just like a well connected, balanced, fulfilled life. So which all the four legs stay strong and make a good foundation. Otherwise, if I am missing the emotional or the spiritual, I will be put in a mask, and I will be lying to myself. And I like that you shared that mask, a way for me to hide, because I was the physical fitness was good, the spiritual maybe was good, but the emotional and mental wasn't that strong. So that's why I fall. Really like that, and I just thought to comment a little bit on that.
Absolutely, Allie. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think one thing before we dive into the emotional fitness piece, um, being in sports. Oh, by the way, Allie, how's your challenge coming along?
Oh, I finished. I
Oh,
finished. I finished it. Like I finished the last 2 kilometer with my son, as I promised, 28th of December. So I finished 161K. Thank you to introducing me to this running and stuff. And I said, you know what? It's not how you start, but how you finish. I want to finish 2020 with, and the reason I choose 28, the date of 28, on December 12th. If you add 28 to 12, will give you 40. That's my age. I turned 40 on 2020. So that's why. So between bracket, that's my physical.
awesome. And then you have another one starting tomorrow. So good luck with that, Allie.
Bring it on.
Awesome. I, Ellie, I think what I'd like to really touch on as well, because it's kind of disturbing for myself, because I keep on hearing it and it's important. I keep on hearing the terminology mental health and mental illness. First of all, I want to commend everyone who is working in the field, doing the best that they can do based upon the current tools that's being used to support people who are going through struggles and challenges. My concern is that there's so much more at work and play here that we need to become educated about, and that I need to become educated about. And that is, if there's anything I would hope for in the world, my hope, Ali, would be to not be pinpointing and judging, labeling individuals.
Mhm.
I, for a number of years, have been told, for example, that I experienced PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, as a result of my dad. I don't call it PTSD. A lot of people around me have told me, well, you must have PTSD, except I don't. I like to call it the fact that I experienced life.
Mhm.
And what are those tools that allows me to do that? When we're dealing with, for my own journey and studies, at least for the last 9 years, survivor's guilt, which I experienced, and I know a lot of people within my inner circle and connections have experienced survivor's guilt. Survivor's guilt is as well researched and documented by a psychologist last year. Survivor's guilt is not a mental health issue.
Mm.
It is an issue revolving around emotional health, emotional fitness. and what are the tools. So it's important that there's a holistic, complete, more diversified and extensive toolkit used to support individuals navigating through what they're navigating through.
Mhm.
And it starts with connecting and listening to those around us and listening to ourselves.
Mm. Connecting and listening.
Connecting and listening. So speaking of that, Ali, I threw my workout jacket on. I'm ready for a workout.
Okay, so connecting and listening, and this is this was the ninth step of emotional fitness, and there is those tool. Part of it is the power of listening, and also connection. So I would like to jump into another tool which is called life skill, and you tell us a little bit more about life skills, Darren, and what is life skills and how it's important to manage or to fit in the emotional fitness as one of the leg, that as part of that leg to get that emotional fitness uh, connected, balanced, and keep you stable.
Hmm. Was that a question that
Yeah,
I was being
yeah.
asked
Just
about
if you,
life skill?
yeah, if you can just clarify a little bit about the life skill before we jump to it, and we will do some homework and see where.
And in fact, I think this is a good opportunity for those who are actually connecting to this particular recording, that this is an invitation for you to experience this particular tool as well. I think the big one for myself, Ali, is that I've lived a life of fitness.
Mhm.
I love watching hockey. I loved watching hockey with my son when my son was growing up. I loved playing sports and running, qualifying for the Boston Marathon, and then going to a particular event that had two finish lines. Across the first finish line, I stopped, and then somebody yelled, "Keep going! That's not the finish line." So the clock kept on going. So finally, I finished that event. Um, so life scale is simply one of the 9 tools that are in the book that you just used, Ali. And it's a tool that I can experience
Mhm.
being listened to kind of take a look at where is my scoreboard in this moment? What does the score say? I don't know if I am going to navigate and win with hope, rebirth, and resiliency, or how am I doing regarding the progression through life unless I'm able to take a look at that scoreboard.
Mm.
Much like if I don't take a look at my bank account and I don't take a look at the numbers, sooner or later I might get a phone call to say, well, I hate to tell you, but we're disconnecting your power. You got to keep an eye on the numbers.
100%. 100%. So talking about the number, my friend,
Let's do it, Ali.
let's see how you're keeping an eyes on the number. So these
Excellent.
tools, it's called life scale, and on scale of 0 to 20, Darren, how much pleasure do I get in my life? If I would ask you to score and put a number, and let's just go through them, six of them, and at the end we will come back. uh, you will have a little box for pleasure on the left and another one on the right. So for the satisfaction will be on the left, and for frustration will be on the right. So for pleasure, which is will be satisfaction, which is on the left, I want you to number that. Then underneath will be pain, which is frustration. I want you to number that as well on the right. On the left, another one which is purpose, which is satisfaction. Put a little box and number it. And on the right, which is frustration, problem. And how do problem weight me down? And on the left again, peace of mind I feel. How many or the number that you would put. And on pressure, do I feel is on me? Pressure do I feel is on me? So I will go back again to that. On scale of 0 to 20, how much pleasure do I get in my life? Pain, how much pain do I feel I have? Purpose, how much purpose do I have in life? And how much do problem weight me down? How much peace of mind I feel? And how much pressure do I feel is on me? And I want you to add up the total score on the left and on the right, and we will dive into that.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing, Ali, is let me just grab something here.
It will be kind of this, Darren, and
Oh, excellent. Yeah, for just for the purpose of the viewer. Yeah, excellent.
so if even the viewer can share their score on the comment, because this is will be on YouTube, and just share that on the comment, and we'll get back to you. And it's like this, yeah, exactly like that, Darren. Have
Excellent. And then maybe what we can do, Ali, is we could turn around wherever this is being posted and maybe attach this to the that area so people could take a look at it. So 6 questions being asked to score between 0 and 20. And to go through in the first number that comes up within the first couple seconds, 2 different columns, this column here and this column here, and totaling them at the bottom.
100%.
Okay. Just give me 1 second there, Ali.
Yeah, for sure.
Mind if I put myself into some sort of meditative state to score this?
100%. Take your time and.
Okay, be right back.
Well, so while we are waiting for Darren to score his score for that, what a powerful story that Darren just shared with us here, and how he this is really a proof of story of hope, rebirth, and resiliency, because to go through all that and you still come out of it like with the clear vision, with the balance, with the connected, and living a life that's with inner balance. That's amazing. And they really like the story of the four leg of a chair that just represent the physical fitness, mental fitness, spiritual fitness, and emotional fitness. Are you back, Darren?
I am back.
All right.
Thank you.
We were just talking about emotional fitness. And
cool.
So for your score, Darren, like for the pleasure, what score did you put there?
So just kind of set the table for this moment. What I find is important, Ali, is that I give myself some quiet space and just connect, and then to go through the scale. Pleasure, in this moment, 18.
With 18. Okay. What does my score for pleasure mean to me? This number 18.
In this moment, what pleasure means for me is that I have a lot of joy and excitement. One, to be able to connect in this platform with my good friend Ali, and also being aware that there are individuals that are going to look at this video, this recording, to support possibly going through whatever that viewer is going through. Pleasure because I'm enjoying a nice coffee with almond milk. I feel rested, and I find myself very much enjoying being in the moment, because that's the only thing I really have is this moment.
What's your ideal number, Darren?
You know what? I'm pretty happy with the 18. No, you know what? I just went to 19. So I think my ideal score, Ali, would be probably a 19.
19. What does that number mean to me? 19, and that's a difference between 18 to 19 is 1. What that represent, or?
Sure. So what 19 represents for me, Ali, is that I'm going to be able to have some time later today to just relax, chill out. I have a run scheduled later today. I have a great connection for coffee with a couple good friends. It's about being fulfilling some commitments that I said I was going to do. And I'm wrapping up 2020 on a high note.
2020 on a high note. Hmm. Amazing. So if I would ask you, Darren, like from what you just shared with me, like you give the essence of the summary of this, like for pleasure you start with 18 and your ideal number is 19. What is summary? Either you write it down or you can just share it there.
I'll share it with verbally, Ali. So the summary of the essence of pleasure for me is the importance of feeling rested, grounded, being in the moment,
Mm-hmm. Rested.
really being grateful and appreciating the gifts and the connections that I currently have in my life.
Hmm. Excellent. So that will just bring us to second one, which is the pain. What's your score on that at the moment, Darren?
So pain is a 6 in this moment. What 6 represents for me is continuing my journey, in particular through trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I think that's the main thing,
Okay.
Ellie. That is that score I'm happy with.
Happy number
That's
six. Okay.
because that score this time last year would not be a very attractive score for me. Would have been much higher. I've I'm intentional about my growth.
Mm-hmm.
Much like Ali, you're starting a 100. You're going to start another challenge tomorrow, and there's a little bit of pain involved with that. But if there's no pain, then it represents. If I'm not experiencing pain, what is coming up for me is that I'm playing it safe. I'm not being intentional about stretching and growing myself the way that I feel that I'm intended to do that. I really am connected to my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
9 years on that particular journey, and I feel I'm being spiritually guided to do great things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that requires some painful moments.
No pain, no gain.
Exactly.
Amazing. So that's I'm getting that's the summary for that, Darren. Like it's we have to go through pain sometimes, and if you don't, you're playing it safe. And that will bring us to the next one. How much purpose do I have in my life, Darren, at this moment?
20.
20. Wow.
Didn't even have to think about that one, Ali.
That's powerful. Like there is no right there. So what does that mean to you, Darren? 20, number 20.
Well, at the age of 54, I'm really feel that I am where I'm supposed to be in this moment. That I have a great relationship with my creator
Mm-hmm.
and intentionally work on that every day. And as I experience things around me, um, that are uncomfortable and are painful.
Mm-hmm.
For example, this last couple of weeks, I've been received some news that unfortunately we've lost a few individuals. It's a spiritual confirmation that I'm on the right path and in the right place in this moment.
Right path and the right place at the right moment. That's why I put 20.
And to be able to take that drive and look through the rearview mirror and go, that was all necessary to bring it into this moment and leverage all that in this moment for the higher good. So I really feel that I am that I'm physically manifesting and co-creating on behalf of the creator and with the creator, with amazing people around me like yourself and a lot of my friends.
Hmm. Wow, that's I have no other question to ask. 20 is you are heading straight to where you are going, and that's you know where you are. And how much do problem weight me down there? Like for the
6 at the present moment.
six at the present moment. What that mean to me? That number six.
6 for me, Ali. Again, just simply represents the struggle,
Mm-hmm.
the struggle that I continue to experience as it's related to what's the word? Putting myself back together from another experience in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
and my problems don't resolve themselves overnight. Life's journeys and struggles and challenges don't get resolved overnight. It is a journey. It is called life. It is called experiencing life, but discovering and really connecting what is the purpose and meaning of what I'm experiencing.
Mm.
I hear that sometimes about spiritual nudges.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if I didn't have any problems, I'd really be saying, man, I'm like that. I'm like that boat that is tied up at the wharf inside a protective cove and not going anywhere. I have no
Mm.
problems.
Mm.
Well, then I'm not doing enough on behalf of the creator and in conjunction and in cooperation with those around me
Mm.
for the higher good.
For the higher good. So I'm like that boat that's just tied to that truth that there and is not exposed to do big waves and storms and all that stuff. And there is a saying that say like a smooth sea can't make a skilled or strong captain. And I heard also that you mentioned there and that I'm not doing enough if I'm not really having any struggle or anything. Can you just paint a picture of that? Like if I don't have any struggle or any problem, I feel like.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely, Ali. Well, first of all, I know that I'm being spiritually nudged and called to action to write a book.
Mm-hmm.
And not only write a book, but write many books. Being an educator, that is my focus in 2021, is to educate through writing, through publishing books, through podcasts. That is where I feel that that's where I'm going. That's where I'm at in this moment. But do I really know how to put together a book? No, I got problems with trying to put together a book, but I don't have to do it alone.
Mm, 100%. 100%.
So yes, I do have problems and I do have struggles. That it's again, it's about feeling that I want to be all used up when it's all said and done.
Mm,
When I march off my if I do a running event, especially if it's I want to see how well I'm doing at an event. I want to be able to finish a marathon knowing that I left everything on the course.
mm,
When we come off the soccer field, I really want to have that feeling that everything was left on the field. Not like coming off the field going, oh, I wish I would have played harder. I wish I would have. There's no wishing.
mm-hmm. Just doing.
Yeah.
Love
So
it. Love it. Thank you for sharing that, Darren. And that will bring us to how much peace of mind I feel.
16.
16. And what that represent to Darren, 16, that number.
Well, I'm at peace with the fact that it's December 31st. It's the last day of 2020. I'm able to spend some great, amazing quality time with some great friends, with yourself, Ali, doing stuff that I feel is meaningful,
Mm-hmm.
that's connecting. I received a video from my daughter last night with my granddaughter playing with her dad. Um, that brings a lot of peace to me. It brings peace to me when I see my granddaughter smiling and laughing at 7 months old, and my daughter is well happy with that situation. I have a great deal of peace with the fact that I feel that I'm very much loved, supported. I have my buddy who reaches out to me going, "We're running later today." I have another friend of mine who's a first line responder working in the military, first time responder, working as an RCMP officer, wanting to do good. And I find it a great deal of peace to be able to be in a position to provide that help.
Mm.
So, yeah, and also recognizing that all this last year, I experienced a hurricane physically, lost our home in the fall of 2019 with Hurricane Dorian, but I also experienced my own personal hurricane internally,
Mm.
but also recognizing what the meaning of all that was.
Mm.
So it brings a lot of peace to me about connecting with the meaning. And a great book, Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl.
Man's search for meaning.
Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, a survivor of survivor of concentration camp, and applies to everyone. What is our meaning? What are we here for?
Mm.
What am I here for? My Peace
What's,
score, 16.
what's your ideal score? Or you are
What's coming up for me, Ali, is 18.
18. Okay. 18. So that's difference of two. What that represent, Darren, or what that two?
What that represents is my continuous ongoing healing journey.
Continuous healing journey. What
My
that look
continuous
like?
ongoing healing journey. So that's getting to know, connect more and more with my family roots and being Mi'kmaq. So 2020, I really started diving into that spiritual practice of being Mi'kmaq,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore doing my work. So waking up, rested, hydrated, bulletproof coffee, make sure I'm doing my smudging,
Mm-hmm.
making sure I'm having balance. So it's about letting go and releasing what no longer serves me and therefore does not serve the relationship that I had with the creator. So it's about releasing and letting go, being more in the moment.
Mm. Releasing and letting go. Okay, so that brings us to the pressure. How much pressure do I feel is on me? And we will be the last one at the list for you.
8.
8. What that represent to Darren? Number 8.
Well, I haven't had a full breakfast yet this morning, so 8. 8 represents I didn't yeah, I didn't eat. 8. Oh, that'd be a different 8. That'd be ATE as opposed to EIGHT.
Okay.
So pressure for me, 8 represents the pressure I put on myself.
Pressure I put on myself. Okay.
It is the pressure that I put on myself with a desire to do good for the greater good.
Mm.
And it is also a desire to be, again, intentional about my growth and my healing. But it is self-imposed pressure, 8.
8. Okay.
It's within me.
What's your ideal number or ideal score, Darren?
It's fluctuating. I'm getting a 6 in one case. I'm getting a 10 on the other side, on the other end. So it's less than 10 and greater than 6, somewhere between there, and it will fluctuate.
Okay.
So the pressure for me is my desire, first of all, living in the moment
Okay.
and being consciously aware that that is really, again, all I have is this moment. But I also feel that there's a great work that needs to be done geared around supporting that journey of hope, rebirth, resiliency. I feel my part and role in that, Ali, is through education.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the pressure associated with moving forward with educational resources to educate what is available for tools to support that journey of hope, rebirth, and resiliency.
Mm. Amazing, amazing what you just shared with us here, Darren. And if I ask you, like, what was your score total for satisfaction and frustration?
54 and 20.
54 on satisfaction and 20 on frustration.
Yes, sir. 54 and 20, 54 total satisfactions, which represents my positive energy. 20, my total frustration, which is my negative energy. But the negative energy is also where the creativity resides.
The creativity reside.
Creativity breeds and is the birth ground for hope, rebirth, and resiliency.
Wow. What's a good way to finish this good exercise, my friend. It's always nice to bring guests about story of hope, rebirth, and resiliency, and Darren represent that 100%. Thank you for sharing all these amazing tools, this amazing exercise that about life skills. And myself, I start using that, and it's really make a big difference. I like when you share at the beginning, like when it's all about number, and when your bank account, you just go in without checking your numbers, the mortgage or whatever will call is said, okay, buddy, like number is not matching here, what's going on here? So you can't go without like knowing what's that. All those tools and 8 other tools are here in this amazing book for the 9 step to emotional fitness. If you want to know more about that, we'll leave that in the description, and it will be posted on YouTube and also on Facebook. And one word or two word, my friend Darren, to finish this for this beautiful audience, and share to them something to sum it up or to wrap it up.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the time this morning, Ali, to be able to be listened to and to be able to share a little bit of story as it's connected to hope, rebirth, and resiliency. I think my biggest takeaway is that to bring about change as it's related to rebirth and resiliency, I truly feel that this is a leadership issue. We all need to step up and be leaders of our own lives, and to be able to always do what is best for the greatest good of those around us and within our community. So stay fit, stay healthy, stay balanced, and thank you so much, Ali, for the great work that you're doing.
Thank you very much, Darren. I appreciate it, and thank you for taking this 7:30 in the morning podcast. That's it's amazing, and it's one of the best podcasts I did. It's good connection. It's about balance, and Ali Dose of Inspiration always bring guests from all over the world, sharing their story of hope, rebirth, and resiliency. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful 2021. Hoping that bring you inner balance, emotional fitness, physical fitness, connection, balance, and fulfillment. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day. Thanks, Darren.
Thank you, Ali. Happy New Year's, everyone.
Happy New Year, everyone.